Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to an episode of Around the Coin. Today's guest is Sergej Kunz, the co-founder of 1inch Network. 1inch is a decentralized protocol that enables fast and lucrative protected transactions. They effectively aggregate liquidity pools and provide people with increased transparency and very low transaction fees. The company or the protocol has raised $175 million in Series B funding at a $2.25 billion valuation. We talked to Sergej. We talked about how he started the project, what they're trying to accomplish in the world. We touched on DeFi and CeFi, centralized and decentralized finance in crypto, and the implications of FTX's fallout recently. It was a dynamic conversation, and I really enjoyed hearing Sergej talk about the intricacies of how he started the business, how he's funded the business, and how he sees growth in the future. I think it's one of the more exciting projects that I've interviewed, and I'm very much rooting for them. The show today is sponsored by Kickfurther, and Kickfurther uses profits at an annualized 18.2%. So on Kickfurther, you fund inventory for vetted products and brands whose credibility metrics you review before participating. So Kickfurther is backed by investors, the same investors that are behind Tesla, Robinhood, Canva, Zoom, and they paid out nearly $100 million. You can participate with as little as $20, and Kickfurther will give new users $10 in credits to get started. So check it out at kickfurther.com/get10 to claim your credit. And I hope you enjoy this conversation with Sergej Kunz. All right, Sergej, I'm excited to be chatting with you. I want to start off by this question. So I heard you once asked if you were in an elevator and you got to be in the elevator with anyone and you could give them a pitch of the business, who would it be and what would the pitch be? And it was something along the lines of Elon Musk. And the pitch was, hey, trading on decentralized protocols is expensive and confusing. Check out invest and check out 1inch, invest in 1inch. Can you update that question? If you were to be in an elevator with anyone and you could give them the elevator pitch, who would it be and what would the pitch be?
Sure, yeah. First of all, thank you for inviting. It's a pleasure to be here.
Mm-hmm.
If I would stay in an elevator with Elon Musk, I would pitch them to
Or
build,
anyone.
Yeah, I would to pitch them to first to fly to the moon, not to the Mars. Yeah, because it makes sense. First to build a kind of station on the moon to learn and then iterate and go further. Same we have here in the DeFi space. We are building on 1inch that in these small steps forward, we can achieve huge changes in the traditional finances. And yeah, I would love to ask him to not push Dogecoin because like just a fork of Bitcoin, which actually makes no sense. It's just a like fun meme coin. And maybe it makes sense to concentrate on a great technology like Ethereum, which just change right now the traditional finances from my point of view. I guess that's what I would like to say to him. He's a really great guy. I have seen the last documentary about SpaceX. It's really crazy what they achieved in the last years with a couple of startups, but somehow he doesn't show up the kind of to being smart with cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies and pushing some shitcoins on Twitter. Yeah.
Well, my thought would be that he just doesn't care. It's not a focus of his, and it's entertainment. And frankly, it is entertainment for most people. I mean, who are all the people that participated in Bored Ape? All the people who bought NFTs of you know, it's like, what is that really? It's entertainment.
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
One of them.
How did you come out on the NFT? So now we're recording November 17th. The market's been down for a minute. How is your NFT reflecting back at your NFT strategy? What do you make of both personally, and then what do you make of the whole market?
So I actually didn't invest in NFTs at all. I wanted to come to a party, and I heard that Bored Ape NFT would help, that I can come to this party. But it was wrong. The information was wrong, but I bought it already. So, yeah,
How much was it?
Yeah, a lot. It's like 4 Porsche Taycan work.
Okay. Yeah.
And now like I lost like the half, maybe more. So, but it's anyway good for me kind of from tax perspective. So I can declare it as loss. And so I have to pay less taxes here in Germany. Yeah, but in general, I didn't invest in NFTs or something. It was kind of interesting from one side, but from the other side, I didn't see any value in that. In the future, potentially, we will see NFTs where you have also real world assets behind that. This makes sense. For example, you can buy an apartment or pay a piece of the apartment, or you can invest also in a luxury car, partially, and benefits from the price growth. These kinds of NFTs make sense, but like just picture JPEGs, I don't see kind of huge values when you don't have any benefits from it. For example, if I would have born Bored Ape and would get access to a cool party with some celebrities, I can meet maybe Mayweather, Conor McGregor, or maybe I don't know, Snoop Dogg or something. That would make sense to have such a NFT. Or I can go to F1 and kind of go to a VIP area and speak with Schumacher.
Yeah, there's some practical use case. I want to ask you about 1inch. So you started this project that you are not CEO of, but you are the co-founder of the protocol. 1inch is, as my understanding, you're aggregating smaller liquidity pools and allowing people to gain better price transparency and pay less in transaction fees through doing that. Can you explain, and then also tell me where you guys are in terms of, like, I have down in the notes here, raised 175 million to Series B with 2.25 billion valuation. That may have been dated. What is it that 1inch is doing? And then what's the size of the protocol today?
So first of all, maybe it's important, how did we start with that? I know back in 2018, 2019, we were touring around the globe, participating on different blockchain hackathons, global hackathons. I guess like we participated in 17 hackathons around the globe. I was New York, Denver, Boston, South Africa, India, Berlin, Stuttgart, here where I'm from. We won prize from Daimler for a smart mobility car, which you could rent with any crypto. And we collected a lot of experience. And one of the hackathons in New York, we were like thinking, what should we build on this hackathon? Normally we just keep to the idea on the hackathon. We were like speaking with couple of people. In New York, I was speaking with Vitalik, with Hayden from Uniswap. And yeah, we came to the idea to build something where you can find the best execution for trades, for swaps. Actually, Anton had the point that he was all the time jumping between DEXs and tried to find the best rate because liquidity was not the same on all the protocols. And nowadays we have kind of a lot of protocols and a lot of liquidity distributed among them. So, and he wanted actually a kind of a page where you see all the liquidity sources and you select one. And I suggested to him, maybe it makes sense to write an algorithm which finds the best distribution among them by taking into account all the gas costs, codes, and whatever else, like liquidity and so on. And he left like for a couple of hours and come back with the algorithm. We did sleep like 2 nights from Friday evening to Saturday morning. And yeah, we have built something that changed the DeFi, the decentralized finance. Actually, when we have built it, no one was talking about DeFi. People were like talking about DEXs like Uniswap. But yeah, in the end, we built something that would solve the problem, and offer the best execution among decentralized exchanges. Nowadays, we aggregate not just decentralized exchanges, we aggregate also other protocols like Aave, for example. You can easily jump into Aave by just doing swap. For example, you have Ethereum, you would like to jump in Aave USDC lending pool, you can just do it with one trade. And at the beginning, we just split it among protocols for the same trading pair. Nowadays, we have like I invented this one kind of pathfinder, we call it. It finds a way from one token to another token by using multiple markets. So it can use in between Bitcoin market, USDC, DAI market, what is liquid on the market. So by this approach, we kind of achieve right now the best execution. Also in terms of gas execution, gas costs, we are also better than Uniswap itself because we have very, very optimized router. Actually, they can just copy our implementation, use for their own router, but they don't do that. We use MIT licenses for fully open source, but they need to take care about copyright as well. I guess that's why they don't use it. But anyway, we have a special implementation also for multiple hubs, multiple trades, splits between the protocols on each of these hubs, and just kind of the best execution right now on the market. And a couple of days ago, we released the V5, which is at least 10% more efficient than everything else on the market. Yeah, this is how we started and what we have built. We solved a huge problem with that. This was kind of our first protocol, and we introduced more protocols. We have a liquidity protocol, similar like automated market maker, similar to Uniswap V2, but with additional features like sandwich attack protection, front running protection. And by using virtual balances, we have our limit order protocol, which overtook 0x recently on the market share. And we have our governance. We have our token for governing the multi-sig DAO, what we have right now. So there's also kind of revenue stream of the protocols. We call it Espresso Plus. It's like a dust. What's happening when people exchange, and in the processing time, the transaction time, the price can little bit jump. If it jumps and the protocol gets more than expected, this little bit dust goes to the DAO, and on billions of dollars, sometimes a day volume, we collect good amount of dust, which goes directly to the DAO, and the DAO can decide on a lot of things, like, for example, provide a brand for a software development company or team, or a single person who would build something for one each network. We have a lot of teams working on a lot of things. We have our wallet, non-custodian solution, where you have kind of really good UX, UI, and a very secured implementation to keep everything safe. Also, there are teams who are like working with the community, also supports. The team is very important. Someone don't know how to exchange, or they don't understand something, they can just chat with the community support team. It's really cool to see people joining around the globe to the One Inch network. We have already around 130 people, also from US, from Europe, from Dubai, from Cyprus. From Ukraine, we have two guys working right now. Unfortunately, they cannot leave because of the war in the country. And we try to support them as much as we can. Yeah, this is kind of One Inch network that we have built. And yes, we raise multiple times. We have great bakers. There's no one who has a huge part of the One Inch network. This is very important because of the decentralization, to keep it very decentralized. There's no one who can decide everything. It's very good distributed among bakers and also community. There are like 100,000 wallets who have right now One-ish tokens on the wallet. Actually, there are more because a lot of people are in centralized exchanges. Unfortunately, we have seen like these problems last days with FTX. Yeah, this is kind of very, very, kind of from a side bad things, but also from other side kind of good things, but that people get it, that makes no sense. Just trust someone. Don't trust. Use something.
So, before we jump into that, because we could certainly talk about that. So One Inch, if I were to distill it down, it's price transparency and reduced transaction fees, and then making it easier to use.
Yeah, the very important thing is you don't have to trust us. You don't do any deposits to the protocol or to kind of a centralized entity. The trade is executed by the user itself. They get trusted permission how to exchange one asset against another for which rate, and the protocol ensures that the user gets what they expect. If they get less, the transaction reverts, so everything is safe. You don't have to trust anyone, just you can read the code. It's very good audited by Consensus, by OpenZeppelin, by a lot of companies. We have like, I guess on the last version, more than 10 audits, security audits.
So it's decentralized. Decentralized, price transparency, inexpensive.
Permissionless, trustless, decentralized protocol for best execution of swaps among a lot of liquid sources, not just decentralized exchanges, but also market makers who are integrated. They're using RFQ protocol, what's also invented by my co-founder. Yeah, just the future of finances. Don't trust anyone. You don't have to deposit to the bank or to a broker something. And yeah.
So alternatives to this would be, if you look at like your direct competitors, would that be who comes to mind as like other large, would it be, I don't know, like who comes to mind when you think of competing protocols?
So I wouldn't say competitors. We are coming from hackathon. So every hackathon means you kind of compete against other hackers or programmers to build something, and maybe you will win, maybe not. And this is in our space. This is like building on future of finance together. How I see it, of course. I and Anton, we invented the aggregation among decentralized exchanges and sources, liquidity sources. People started to try to build that, what we have invented, tried multiple approaches, similar approaches as we did, but it's good. It's good to see people working in the same space, also onboarding new people. Everyone who's in this space, they try to onboard new people to try to move people from centralized exchanges like Coinbase.
But assume people are in DeFi. So similar type protocols. I embrace the word competitor. I look at it as a great thing. If you don't have competitors, you're not doing anything valuable, because ultimately wherever there's value, there should be multiple people creating services. So is it like Aave would be like, if I'm a user that wants to trade coins, I'm probably comparing multiple protocols. If I'm comparing 1inch, I'm probably comparing to Aave and Compound. Like I would imagine it consolidates around 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 options. Is that about right?
Yes. Yeah. We have players like 0x. First 0x started with the decentralized order books, kind of limit order protocol. And then they came to the idea, wow, Sergej and Anton invented something, and they started to build the same. Yeah. Also the API was the same, like from the interface. Yeah. The thing is, we are kind of hackathon guys who are very fast and very, very motivated. I guess the first 1.5 years, I didn't sleep at all, like 3-4 hours a day, a lot more. And there are also others, like, for example, Paraswap guys, they started also to copy also the interface as well. The Kyber network was kind of also aggregator, I would say, in the early days. They helped us a lot. On the hackathons, we integrated them, and they gave us sometimes bounties. Nowadays, actually, they copy our UI. A bit funny to see.
Good.
We are friends with them. I see it like as a pleasure when I came to the idea and go to my team and say like, guys, why we're not building like such an interface? Yeah. We've charted and the swap interface next year, and the list of the liquidity sources. I guess this idea came from Anton as well, and someone integrated and built the same. It looked like the same, and that means it works. First of all, it's useful, and other people try to do the same, and it's like a pleasure for us.
And so how is it structured? So you have the protocol, which is decentralized. There's a token in which people can cast votes for different features and changes to the protocol. I would imagine you have a private C Corp or LLC established in some country, and that was the vehicle that you used to raise 175 million. Or can you explain a little bit more about how the funding flows in the general corporate structure?
Yes. So how you said, you need a vehicle to work in the real world. Nowadays you can raise with DAO, but back into the days, no one knew how to do it properly. Yeah. We have a limited on British Virgin Islands. There's kind of a huge structure around that. There are directors, there are employees, some employees, but most of the people are kind of freelancers, core contributors. They're all around the globe, and some of them are working directly with the foundation, which is completely independent. we found some guys who wanted to help and to push this idea forward. They created foundation. It's completely independent from me and Anton. We are not controlling it. The goal of the foundation is just to grow the network. Yeah. They have some 1inch tokens. We as a limited, we got also have from the foundation some 1inch tokens. I as a core contributor, Anton, and and the other people who before the token launch contributed to the network, got also a lot of kind of tokens to work, to be able to work on that. And also a huge amount went to the community as well for those people who supported the protocol, who used this. So we had kind of this initial token distribution by the foundation. Similar to Uniswap, actually, kind of this approach was very successful, very kind of permissionless and decentralized. So it was also taken for this. Yeah. And the raising of the money was actually difficult for us because I and Anton, we were just normal programmers, like software engineers, software architects. I had more business experience because I have built my first aggregator for telecommunication back in 2011 already. Had some customers, and in parallel I was working on startups, consulting companies for example, 3 years, 1.5 years as external consultant and 1.5 years internal. We learned a lot of things, and it's by jumping from one startup to another. Yeah, this was and the raising itself, like it was difficult for us. We didn't know how to do that. We had no idea. I didn't read any books because I had no time for that. We were like working on the normal jobs. The nights we were just working for this project for 1inch, like for free.
Right.
We didn't earn any penny in the first 1.5 years. And then we raised after 100 pitches, I would say. I did like 100 pitches.
And how were you pitching? Was the basic pitch like, hey, invest money, buy our tokens at a discount before we ICO? Like how did the capital formation work?
No, we never did an ICO, or we never sold to any retail customer. We were looking for value-add investors. So there were a lot of people who offered a lot of money, but it was never about the money. So, and in the first round, we collected like 2 million something. And it was about to have really good distribution among backers, and also to get those investors who help us. So we expand our network, who helps with hiring. At the beginning, we had the luck that we had really great network through traveling through multiple countries and hackathons. We have already built good developer network, and we could hire directly good people. So
just so I'm on the same page. So investors put in dollars and they get back tokens from the protocol, or they put in dollars and they get back equity in the company?
So we never sold equity because we have never seen value in equity. Nowadays, I see it a little bit different. I can explain a little bit later about that. But yeah, we sold part of the tokens which we got from the foundation.
Got it.
Yeah, in all 3 rounds. So the seed round, after I guess 2 months, we raised the second round, Series A. We call it Series A, but at the end, it's like just selling tokens for a specific price. And then the third round, the last round, was really big. We got really, really good kind of backers additionally. So for example, I asked for the Wolf of the Wall Street. I wanted to speak with them because she's a really good teacher. Kind of, she's do motivation talks and explain how to sell and everything. And I was wondering to speak with them. I wrote shortly to our backers, and they came like a week later with this guy. We had a call with the Wolf of Wall Street. It was really a pleasure to meet them. It was really kind of cool. But just what means that you have value-add investors. If you need something, you get it. If you need introduction to, I don't know, to sticker break, you can get it by having the right investors.
And so the pitch was, hey, raise, it was a total of $175. Obviously that was traded in the token. So I imagine that has fluctuated as related to the USD, but the money went from investor into the foundation, exchanged for tokens immediately and held in tokens in the foundation, subject to the price volatility.
It's not through foundation. The foundation is completely independent. Foundation is non-profit.
Okay.
We in the limit that we go.
Got it. Okay. So directly into the So you said basically we'll sell you tokens at a discount if you buy them. And we're in the purpose of the round.
In the last round, yes. In the last
Mhm.
round, yes. So we had a good amount of tokens in the limited, and yeah,
Got it.
we had to something to sell, like
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wanted the investors, and you need just to sell something.
Yeah.
And equity was not far enough. It's still not far enough, but I'm looking forward to maybe to raise token and equity. We have still good amount of each tokens which could be distributed among new backers. And it makes sense from my point of view to sell maybe 4, because we are far enough where we have kind of enterprise services already. We have APIs which we can sell, and we are building right now institutional products as well. So based on the DeFi community technology of OneInch network, we are gonna start the institutional product. Of course, right now it's not the best situation, I would say, after this terrible weeks. I would say a lot of people lost trust in blockchain and cryptocurrencies, also from institutional point of view. But I'm pretty sure in the next years, with this great technology, we can achieve really good goals.
And so investors would put in dollars into the protocol and they would get discounted tokens. You raised roughly 175 million total over that multiple process. It's called Series A, Series B, and you're maybe thinking about a future one, but did not sell equity in the BVI business, as that business is not really aimed to increase value. It's all about what you think about is growing the value of the protocol. And I would imagine that's the incentive of the foundation. That's your incentive. And so allocating tokens is going to be something that would need to have been approved by the foundation. And then you allocate tokens, say we're going to mince 1 million tokens and we're going to sell those for a total of 175. And there's a 20% discount, and we're going to go around and pitch investors. I just want to make sure I understand the basic capital formation structure. And then we can.
Yeah, just was kind of not the same, but kind of this direction for the last round. First and second round was just simple. Guys, we are building the future of finances. With 2.5 men, the protocol which had millions volume a day with no capital. We didn't invest any penny, not in marketing, not in anything else. Anton was very successful with his memes on Twitter. It was if you go back in the history, and if you go back in Twitter, you will see a lot of memes about our achievements, about our features which we released, and it's a community who helped us to build this product. And and based on what we achieved, we didn't promise anything kind of that we are not gonna what we were able to build. We proved that we were able to build something like this with daily volume of millions of dollars, and with just 2.5 men, with no capital, no resources.
Yeah.
And nowadays we are 130 people and have a lot of kind of protocols, products, and expanding and building for more.
Okay, got it. And then do you think the capital formation process sounds like it was a little frustrating, maybe a little confusing for you? Do you think it's in the end stage? Like if you were to start a new protocol today, brand new, do you go and set up a BVI LLC or an unlimited and then hire people through that entity to then build a decentralized protocol with a foundation, go out and raise money, allocating new tokens at a discount in the protocol? Or do you think, does that model shift away? And do we move towards something that's more, I don't know, efficient, effective, legal?
Yeah, just difficult in the traditional world. It's difficult to work with the DAO.
Right.
With organization. And I guess in US, it's already possible in some states, right? Something like that.
Wyoming. They recognize it. And it does seem, it's so important. And I think it doesn't get talked about enough. It's like how you capitalize the project matters so much.
So I think it's possible nowadays to work through the DAO, to collect some investments through a DAO, but it makes everything slow.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a DAO, you need kind of process to protect you from abuse, manipulations, or draining the multisig. Yeah, it's happened with one DAO, I guess, that just gnosis multisig like we have. And someone created a transaction and drained the whole multisig because no one was caring about the transactions in the DAO. So yeah,
wait, where did that happen?
I guess it was like half year ago. Somewhere I have
some other protocol.
Yeah. Some other DAO.
See, this is the thing. This is like this. Just the one. Not to interrupt you, but it's like, yeah, if you rely on other people to store your funds, like in CeFi with FTX, very easy to understand how people can steal your crypto. However, when people say, "Oh, it's trustless, it's decentralized, it's permissionless," and then there's hacks on bridges, it's like, oh well, now what can I trust? Because it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, if it's decentralized and it's still getting hacked, then I don't know. It's hard to evaluate.
Yeah, smart contracts are written by humans, and make mistakes. That's why we have a lot of security audits in our smart contracts, and we try to keep all the implementations really highly efficient with small tool. That helps, yeah, but still it can happen, yeah, that someone just do a mistake, or maybe the blockchain itself can change the approach, and maybe it's possible to use maybe kind of a bug in Solidity or in the flow of how it works.
Right.
So reentrancy attacks, for example, no one was thinking about them before it started to become popular. Also, flash loan attacks. So actually, I and Anton, we came with the flash loan idea in Paris back 2019 to Aave, to Stani, and we gave them a piece of code of the flash loans and suggested them to implement in the I guess they had ETH land or something.
Who is this? You're saying flash loans?
Flash loans, yeah.
Okay. And this is his first. So actually, what is that?
We give flash loans. Flash loans are kind of, you can borrow money from Aave, for example. If they have like 500 million of USDC, you can just borrow it, do something with it, and in the same transaction, you through your smart contract, you come back and give it back for free. So actually, in Aave, small fee, really small fee. That means you can use this huge amount of money to drain another protocol. It happens multiple times.
Oh, wow.
Actually, and I feel I and Anton, we're in charge of all these hacks because we suggested Aave to integrate flash loans. Unfortunately, yeah, kind of people start using it to drain other protocols, but it's a cool thing. With the flash loans, you can create leverage positions very nicely in lending protocols or short positions. Yeah, but it was kind of misused at the end.
That's interesting. So let's buzz up to SBF. So how has the collapse of FTX affected you and maybe affected 1inch more broadly? And yeah, I'm curious to hear your story on it.
Yeah. We lost like 80K on FTX from limited. We had some small amount of money there. And yeah, and actually we got huge amount of volume these days. We had $2.5 billion volume a day when it's happened because people started to move to DeFi, to own wallets, and started to hedge positions, decentralized implementations on DEX, like aggregators. So yeah, actually we got kind of huge volume because of these crazy things what happened with FTX. And yeah, and that's it. Actually, we are trustless, permissionless, and decentralized, and we don't care about such situations in terms of we don't have any positions of people. They don't give us money to trade with it or something like that. It's fully permissionless. You have your tokens on your wallet, and when you trade, you execute by yourself, and the protocol just ensures that you get this specific amount you accept.
I mean, so in many ways, I would imagine that DeFi founders are sitting around thinking, "I told you so." Thinking, "Hey, come check us out." Do you think the market accelerates towards DeFi protocol trading faster? I mean, maybe this is obvious, but are people moving away from all the centralized exchanges for good? like, how do you make sense of the transition? Or are people just so scared of crypto as a whole? And maybe it's a demographic split. It's people who are comfortable enough with it versus people who just are in there to get gains and hodl versus.
I think people will forget this case, like they forgot it with MTGOX cases and other. This one case, which I have seen on Netflix movie in Canada, this guy which died and the company lost access to the wallets because one CEO just died in India somewhere.
Wait, are you saying he died? The guy died?
He died, yeah.
Oh,
they died and the keys were lost after that. But at the end, they found out that actually this guy just used the user funds to have a nice life, similar to FTX. Yeah, Sam borrowed from FTX and lost somewhere by trading $9 billion. It's insane, yeah. But such cases people forget very fast. Yeah. Also with MTGOX, they forget it, and again they start to trust centralized entities, and I don't think so. It's kind of huge problem. I guess a regulator will come and regulate more Coinbase, Binance, and who's left, and they will try. The centralized exchanges will try to get again trust of the people. But we have the opportunity to onboard more people right now and try to explain and educate people to use own keys, own private wallets, and not trust anyone.
Yeah. It seems like that's going to be the message is either get on board with DeFi or get out crypto entirely. And I like you said, I can't see it swelling up to zero for long. People will eventually come back. It is certainly a progressive technology.
Yep. It's of course what happened. It's damaging the blockchain environment, DeFi environment as well, because a lot of people lost a lot of money. A lot of companies have to close and will close as a kind of die after this was happened, because X had a lot of relations to a lot of companies.
How
Also,
early
Alameda
in that?
Once again?
How early are we in that? Do you think we're in like, the first inning? Like, is there going to be 100 more companies close down or like 2 or 3?
It's just started. It's just started. And a lot of companies, they will run out of money very soon. Alameda Research actually invested also in 1inch, and they had only small amount. And actually what happened, the hacker who got access to the wallets of FTX, they sold all FTX on the wallet. And how I have seen, it's a part of the tokens what Alameda got. We were already sold on the market, so they actually dumped already. Yeah, just so that this didn't affect the price itself. And we from our side, we don't really care about the price itself because we take care about this technology and what we are building. And
can you say that again? Was there a hack involved in FTX, or was it just purely a collapse in the price?
Yeah, the thing is, a hacker got access to FTX wallets. The hacker started to sell it. I guess they tried to sell through 1inch and they got blocked because 1inch Foundation, who provide the app, the access to the 1inch network, it's like a client, right? The Decentralized application, the app. It's just a web browser website. Yeah, it's served by the foundation, and the foundation also works very closely with kind of compliance team, this additional team who take care about if a hack happening, they try to block the hackers, and this guy was blocked, and they started to use other protocols. I guess they use CowSwap. It's also kind of aggregator of aggregators. They actually under the hood use also 1inch protocols as well. So and this hacker started to sell a lot of tokens, different tokens what they had, and also 1inch tokens, and they sold like 17 minutes of 1inch tokens in one single transaction. Yeah. We had luck that it was covered kind of by the good amount of liquidity and Decentralized exchanges. Yeah, but this is how it is. Yeah.
So, wait. So let me make sure I understand. So you're saying that the FTX collapse was in part created by a hack?
It was additionally, so the collapse happened, and they stopped the withdrawals, and the hacker somehow got access. It's not very complicated normally.
Interesting.
If you are kind of a good kind of hacker, you do some investigations, you check the trash of the victim, you do some social engineering, and you're maybe sitting like months in the computers of your victims, and one day you have to react and do something. And I guess this happens here. I and Anton, we are also security experts. I was working also at Porsche as security experts. So, and this guy just reacted, I guess. She was already sitting long time with FTX. And what I understood from the last kind of reports that FTX was really bad in terms of building software, which didn't do proper accounting. Alameda Research got benefits to not being liquidated and something like that. So yeah, and security was not the highest level. They had passwords in emails or something.
Oh boy.
And it makes hackers' life easier. And they just reacted and I guess, and started to sell, transfer and everything.
Okay. So it sounds like the hackers they downloaded some piece of software on the computer that was on the computer for a long time. And then the market crashed and then they utilized
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Wow. Yeah.
If I would do that, I would do it like that.
Yeah. Making it bad to worse. So there's a lot of varying opinions on SBF right now. How do you view this person individually? And what sort of action do you think the community, society should levy to him? Is this on the order of like life in prison, or is this, hey, you're an idiot and made a ton of really bad decisions? I guess what I'm asking is, from what you know now, how much malice do you think was attributed, or was it just purely combination of important incompetence mistakes?
I think Sam is, I was speaking with Sam, I guess 2 times. So I didn't meet them, but what I got is he's very educated. Yeah. So, and based on the reports I have seen the last time, what she did, it was a crime. She knew what he did, and they wrote specific software to not being liquidated, and other customers were liquidated, and such things. This is crime.
Yeah.
And I have still this picture where Sam is sitting in front of U.S. government and explaining, we are regulated by this and this and this and this entity, but at the end we were not regulated from our point of view. They wrote piece of shit of software, which was super manipulated and super in benefit of his kind of daughter company or kind of his old company. And accounting books were really done very badly based on the last report. And this is regulation? I don't think so. This is a good regulation. We had similar case with Wirecard. I don't know if you have heard.
No, Wirecard? No.
Wirecard, yeah. Wirecard also, kind of lied on what they do. It was like payment provider. They bought a lot of companies around the globe, and they use these companies. They said like they buy it because of licenses, to get the right licenses to operate in these countries. But at the end, they washed the money through these companies and extracted the whole money, similar to FTX actually. And use this money for all needs. The CEO left Germany, and if you go to the airport in Germany, you see his face everywhere. They're still searching for
yeah,
him.
It's an interesting point, right? It's like, what goes through your head? What's the calculus on, do I run or do I fight? And I mean, it seems like SBF is not running, and maybe that's impossible for him. But God, it's got to be, right? How many crypto people are on the run?
It's impossible.
Yeah.
I guess it's impossible. With enough money, you can do a lot of things. I have seen the Crypto Queen, the OneCoin. I don't know if you have heard about them. The brother of the founder is sitting in the US in prison right now, I know. But she, the founder of this OneCoin, the Crypto Queen, so-called, is somewhere. No one can find her. With enough money, you can, I don't know, do a lot of things. Some people
That's a form of prison, though. I mean, it is a form of prison. Like being on the run is like, yeah.
I don't know. You can change your face with enough money. You can change your passport. Everything is possible. But still, that's not the problem. That someone is living and living somewhere and with a lot of money. The problem is that the regulators claim to regulate, for example, in our case, centralized exchanges, but they fail. I have no words to explain how fail they are. But obviously, Wirecard, this Wirecard case, the BaFin, the German regulator, they're normally very strict, and they actually fucked up with to verify that they are processing everything in a compliance manner. Yeah, this is again about trusting people.
Yeah,
someone pays someone and they don't check everything. Corruption is possible, but when you trust people, when you trust code, there's no corruption possible. There's just code which is written in stone on blockchain. You cannot change it.
Yeah. And do you know off the top of your head how much was lost in the Wirecard scandal?
I guess $2 billion.
Yeah, billions. Oh, God, that's brutal. And I imagine it always falls back on retail investors. Like that's who ends up losing. Yeah.
Yes. This stock just dropped to nothing.
Yeah.
In a couple of hours.
That's brutal, man. That makes it hard to get excited about technologies when you see people. I mean, ultimately it's people. And I have to believe, regulation plays a role. I do tend to be aggressive on the role of regulation. And I do think that there's an underspoken for and underappreciated reactionary defense from the public. Like people are just going to be more critical of the CeFi protocols. They're going to be more, or CeFi businesses. They're going to, and like, that's how it works, right? It's like, okay, if you get hit in the face, you're just going to be more aware. You're going to be better defensively. Our bodies work like that. Like if you get sick, your body is stronger. It has an immune system. So I think relying and saying,
or you die.
Or you die. And like, if you die, like, listen, like survival of the fittest, right? Evolution has a theory. And that's, if you die, that means someone else learns from it and is better for it. So the lesson is always encoded. There's always a flip side to it. And that's why I tend to think it's like, regulation maybe could have done better, but on some level, you can't regulate the unknown. You have to let people try, fail, and then react.
I'm not speaking about to regulate properly. I'm speaking about maybe we should change the view. Maybe maybe we need to just allow DeFi to grow and use DeFi technology to have regulation by default. Yeah. So for example, if you have a smart contract and it's used in fully permission manner, then you don't have to regulate anyone in terms of there's no one depositing money on it. You have to maybe to regulate that it's kind of audited, verified, there's no backdoors, no bugs, and the creator or someone else can just take the money from the people who are using it, because they give permission to the smart contracts to transfer the tokens for the swaps. If it's kind of safe and clear, maybe this is the regulation and maybe it's enough. Yeah. Because we eliminate distrust and deposits and managing money, and it's also less effort for the regulators. If they keep the regulation more efficient, more simple.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see what plays out. Boy, fascinating story. And kudos to you guys for being in a great position to effectively benefit from it and offer the saving grace or the life raft for people who are trying to get out of CeFi and don't want to or don't have trust in those institutions. Sergej, are you actively writing, tweeting, anything you want to throw out personally that you have on the internet?
Yeah, I have my Twitter account, D6. So I had the luck to being verified a long time ago before it was possible to verify for $8. It was kind of difficult to get the verification. But sometimes I post something. I have not a lot of time to write something. I guess last time I was shitting on centralized exchanges a little bit and kind of wrote that don't trust anyone, just use permissionless, trustless system. DeFi. But right now it's difficult. I have for a little less time. I have to communicate with a lot of people, do workshops, kind of working on new ideas. I've read also code.
Even at this scale, even with 150 people, you're writing code?
Yeah. So I had a flight from Dubai to Germany and had the idea just from a couple of microservices to to improve. Also kind of a problem what we have right now in DeFi, sandwich attacks. You have heard, I guess, about that.
No.
When you swap something on Uniswap, for example, someone can take your transaction and swap before you and swap after you and get some benefits.
I see.
And there are some solutions to prevent it. So just came to an idea, wrote a prototype, and now sharing it with my guys. Also, yeah, it's not like first time. So the algorithm, the Pathfinder, I came to the initial solution on the couch of my sister.
That's how it happens. One of the
like,
best ideas, that in the shower.
Just how this. Yeah, and I like to also to write some code and not just to speak with a lot of people. Sometimes I have like the whole day calls, meetings. People want to speak with us as well a lot. Maybe we'll have kind of collaboration. Ask for investments as well.
A lot of stuff.
A lot of things happening right now.
Well, I appreciate you coming and talking to me. Any particular person? Is there one person, one book, one article, blog that you want to throw out as being a point that maybe has been interesting to you or inspiring to you, educational over the last few years?
Yeah. Well, inspiring. I was working for Porsche, and I like this mentality of Porsche people. Also, I'm feeling still I'm Porscheaner. We call us.
What's it like?
I like this kind of the division what they have. They say if you see something, if you don't see something what you're looking for, then just build by yourself. It actually was the kind of a statement of Ferry Porsche, is the son of Ferdinand Porsche, who created the company. The Ferry Porsche was looking for a car. The first Porsche car, what he built the first Porsche car. It was like a spider, so like a cabrio, like before the top. And he was looking for a really nice one, rounded one, and silver one. And he just built by himself. And everyone was wondering, what is this? And she said, like, I didn't find the car I wanted. I just built it by myself. It's actually the same with 1inch. We didn't find the aggregator. We just built it by ourselves.
Yeah.
So, and I would also suggest to everyone, if you don't find something, just build it.
Yeah.
Try to build.
Yeah.
It's possible. And one more guy is Bruce 1inch.
The 1inch punch, right?
Yeah. We called 1inch because of 1inch punch. Everything what Bruce Lee did was highly efficient. He trains that hard to be more and more efficient. And I do also my mixed martial arts almost my whole life.
Oh, what do you train in?
Sometimes I started with karate, Shotokan karate until second brown belt, like 5 years I spent for it. Then Muay Thai. Then I switched to a mixed martial arts and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
And now I do more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu than everything else. Yeah, because sometimes, like when you do sparring, like Muay Thai, you get some punches on the head. And I have the problem sometimes I don't see on the left side anything when I get some punches.
Yeah.
That's why I remember me every time when I have this case that maybe BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is better. It's like judo.
I know. I train 5 days a week.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Which belt?
I'm a blue belt. So I've been doing it for
I'm also blue belt.
3 years.
I didn't train like 5 years. I did like 1.5, 2 years until blue belt with 2 stripes. Yeah. And then I didn't train 5 years and I came back this February. And yeah, I didn't train again for 2 months, I guess. Didn't train. I need to come again. It's a little bit problematic when about the time.
Yeah.
A lot of things happening and I need to be everywhere. But yeah, I will go again.
Nice. I'll hold you to it. I'll be your,
I would love to have a role with you. Maybe you can come to Dubai.
Dude, I'm down. I would love to. Let's hook it up. All right, man. Well, let's stay in touch. Thanks so much, Sergej. It was awesome chatting with you, and congrats on all the progress.
It's a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you very much for inviting.